Good morning. These are our daily lectionary readings for Friday, February 17th, 2023. I hope that you have a very good weekend coming up. Our 3 daily lectionary readings. Psalm 2, once again, is our psalm reading. We stay in Exodus, but we jump up to Exodus 19, verses 9 through 25 for our Old Testament reading. And then our New Testament reading is from the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verses 23 and 28. Yesterday we heard from the Message. Today we will hear from the Living Bible. Psalm 2. What fools the nations are to rage against the Lord. How strange that men should try to outwit God. For a summit conference of nations have been called to plot against the Lord and his Messiah, Christ the King. Come, let us break his chains, they say, and free ourselves from all slavery to God. But God in heaven merely laughs. He is amused by all their puny plans. And then, in fierce fury, he rebukes them and finds them with fear. For the Lord declares, "This is the king of my choice, and I have enthroned him in Jerusalem, my holy city." His chosen ones reply, "I will reveal the everlasting purpose of God. For the Lord has said to me, you are my son. This is your coronation day. Today I am giving you your glory. Only ask, and I will give you all the nations of the world. Rule them with an iron rod. Smash them with clay pots. O kings and rulers of the earth, listen while there is time. Serve the Lord with reverent fear. Rejoice with trembling. Fall down before his son. Kiss his feet before his anger is roused and you perish. I am warning you, his wrath will soon begin. But oh, the joys of those who put their trust in him. Our Old Testament reading today comes from the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verses 9 through 25. Then he said to Moses, I'm going to come to you in the form of a dark cloud, so that the people themselves can hear me when I talk with you, and then they will always believe you. Go down and see the people are ready for my visit. Sanctify them today and tomorrow, and have them wash their clothes. Then, the day after tomorrow, I will come down upon Mount Sinai as the people watch. Set boundary lines, that people may not pass, and tell them, beware, do not go up into the mountain, or even touch its boundaries. Whoever does shall die. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot to death with arrows, whether man or animal. Stay away from the mountain entirely until you hear a ram's horn sounding, one long blast. Then gather at the foot of the mountain. So Moses went down to the people and sanctified them, and they washed their clothes. He told them, get ready for God's appearance 2 days from now, and do not have sexual intercourse with your wives. On the morning of the third day, there was a terrific thunder and lightning storm, and a huge cloud came down from the mountain. And there was a long, loud blast as from a ram's horn, and all the people trembled. Moses led them out from camp to meet God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. All Mount Sinai was covered with smoke because Jehovah descended upon it from the form of fire. The smoke billowed in the sky as from a furnace, and the whole mountain shook with a violent earthquake. As the trumpet blast grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and the God thundered his reply. So the Lord came down upon the top of Mount Sinai and called Moses up to the top of the mountain, and Moses ascended to God. But the Lord told Moses, go back down and warn the people not to cross the boundaries. They must not come up here to try to see God. If they do, many of them will die. Even the priest on duty must sanctify themselves, or else I will destroy them. But the people won't come up into the mountain, Moses protested. You told them not to. You told me to set boundaries around the mountain and declare it off limits because it is reserved for God. But Jehovah said, Go down and bring Aaron back with you, and don't let the priests and the people break across the boundaries to try to come up here, or I will punish them. So Moses went down to the people and told them what God had said. Our New Testament reading today comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verses 23 through 28. Moses' parents had faith too. When they saw that God had given them an unusual child, they trusted that God would save him from the death the king commanded. And they hid him for 3 months and were not afraid. It was by faith that Moses, when he grew up, refused to be treated as the grandson of a king, but chose to share ill treatment with God's people instead of enjoying the fleeting pleasures of sin. He thought that it was better to suffer for the promised Christ than to own all of the treasures of Egypt, for he was looking forward to the great reward that God would give him. And it was because he trusted God that he left the land of Egypt and wasn't afraid of the king's anger. Moses kept going on. It seemed as though he could see God right there with him. And it was because he believed God would save his people that he commanded them to kill a lamb, as God had told them, and sprinkle the blood on the doorpost of their home, so that God's terrible angel of death could not touch the oldest child in the home, as he did among the Egyptians. And here ends our readings for the day.